So we just woke up from the dream, and I think we have a lot of thoughts, right?
Absolutely.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Dragonmount. My name is Thom, and my lovely co-host over here is Crystal, or Aquina. We're going to be talking about episode 5 of season 3 of The Wheel of Time on Amazon Prime, Tel'aran'rhiod. Very exciting. We see a lot of stuff in this episode, a lot of Tel'aran'rhiod like show canon that's confirming a lot of things that we thought throughout season 2 and season 1, and a little bit that we've seen in season 3 now. Before we go fully into the dream, we have to make sure to thank our sponsors, Tor Books, for, keeping the lights on. It's very helpful when we can, pay the professionals who do things like edit these videos, who, we're very appreciative of. And we also have to thank all of you. Everyone who's watching this video right now is contributing to our ability to keep doing these things, especially the Patreon supporters, who will be getting more goodies very soon. As of March of 2025, we will be updating the Patreon to have a bunch more rewards and a lot more fun interactive things that we will be adding to it. I hope you guys are as excited as I am about it, and I can't wait to see your reactions once we actually get it launched. Rafe said something really funny during the fan event that makes me think of this scene. He was like, we wrote in the script, gazing out over a gorgeous vista. I don't think it was gorgeous. He used a different descriptive word, but the same thing. Mm-hmm. And he was like, and at the time we didn't have a location for this, but of course they're going to find one because, there it is right there in the script. And I thought that was fun. Yeah, it's right there. It says it right here, gorgeous vista. So like, we're going to have it, obviously. But yeah, no, this is definitely a gorgeous vista. The view here is awesome. And this is also one of the views that we had during like the teaser trailer, where like all of the quotes about the show were popping up in the screen. So we couldn't really see what was going on. And, there's Moiraine using the Chodin ball, or
Sakarnin.
Sakarnin, yeah. I like Chodin ball.
The look on her face is both ecstasy and pain.
Yeah.
Like it's both at the same time.
Yeah, like you could see it, like her, when we first come in, you could see the concern there on her face.
Well, I'm sure it's more than she's ever felt in her entire life.
Probably more than she's ever thought was possible.
Yeah.
If these are the two most powerful sangreal, they're the equivalent of the Chodin call. And the amount of power that was used through those two access keys was astronomical, like in level. So yeah, I can imagine. But you could see her brow is furrowed. Like if you look at her eyebrow there, like you could see her brow is furrowed. But then here she's like the furrow went away, and it's like the ecstasy of it is taking over.
Well, you can see her, she kind of closes her eyes a little bit.
So much of the one power. Look how big. You know how we were talking earlier, like in episode 1, about how thick the weaves were as they were.
Yeah.
It's like,
these are massive.
It's huge. Like, I can't wait to actually see Rand do some major channeling with no aid, just himself, and it'll probably dwarf this. It'll probably look like, no, maybe not if it's Chodin call, but it'll still probably look close to
epic.
This.
Yep.
Yeah. This is just gorgeous. Yeah, there's the ecstasy, a little pain.
Yeah. Ooh, it's out of control.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah. For a second, watch her brow. Like, we start off this, and then her brow furrows, and then unfurrows, furrow, unfurrow. Yeah, definitely. And then there's it getting a little out of.
You can see the storm as it's.
Yeah. It's getting a little out of control. It's a little difficult for her to maintain. Look at it. Like she's like. Oh, gorgeous though.
So watch this right here. Take this slow. I wrote something about like her arms glowing at the end. Like it didn't look like.
Yeah, you could see it glow. You could see the light. It's so powerful. Yeah, you could see like the veins and bones through her skin. For sure, especially in that one right there.
Crazy.
You could see it too, right as she stops channeling for a second. There it is right there.
Yeah.
Like, look at that.
Look at that. It's like,
crazy awesome. Looks freaking.
So intense.
Looks freaking awesome. We could see her bones through her skin. because they're the only thing that isn't illuminated.
Why do you think she ended up having to wrestle it? Like what? Like obviously we know this is more power than she's ever been capable of holding, but like what is the?
She just couldn't control it. So like you can see here, like it looks like she's struggling, but it looks like she's struggling to do something with it. Like she doesn't know what to do with this much of the one power. So she's like trying to direct it and trying to do something with it. And then she eventually is just like, she's able to like, release what she was doing so that it doesn't, just, who knows, atomic bomb an explosion, and then releases the one power. But look at that face. Like she was worried there for a second. Freaking fantastic scene though.
Yeah. A gorgeous way to open this episode.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's probably, some of this fear on her face here is probably not just fear, like the pain of channeling the one power. I feel like it's also like, what could I have done? Like, what could this do in the wrong hands? Like, oh my God, I got to protect this. Like if she saw herself using this against Lanfear in Ruidian and knows that she needs to use it against her or something like that, that's something. But like, she's probably thinking, oh my God, what's going to happen to it afterwards? Unless like, she knows or not. But I really feel like she's worried about that falling into the wrong hands is what I got, especially the way she's been cradling it and like, she's really fiddling with it. I really feel like she should tell him what she saw in the rings. Like like we know by the end of the episode she does, and I'm very happy she does. I'm so glad they have that discussion because it's the discussion that they should have had in the books. And I really feel like book Moiraine denying Lan like the ability to choose was just wrong. Like I feel like they should have had the discussion. I feel like if they had the discussion, book Lan wouldn't have just rode off into the blight and killed himself. He would have done exactly what she wanted him to do without her manipulating him to do it. Maybe not like being willingly bonded to Morel the Green, but like at least do like not killing himself, like not riding into the blight and killing himself. Like he would have not done that had she asked and explained everything.
Yeah, I got the sense from that clip at the beginning that this is not the first time he's asked her to confide in him, that he's been begging her, tell me what you saw in the rings. Tell me how I can help you. Like, I am here for you. And she just kept brushing him off.
The way that she was answering him was like, it's not today. No, it's not that. Like she was answering his questions, but she wasn't building on it.
Yeah.
He might not have been pressuring her though. Like he could probably sense that she wants to tell him more, but like she can't maybe, like think about like Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Like he couldn't tell them, like
I don't think he's pressuring her. I think he's just
he wants to know for sure.
He's going to ask her like ad nauseum.
I'm glad we do get that payoff in this episode, though. This is absolutely the conversation they should have had in the books. And then this is obviously our little bit of comedy or humor that we got inserted into this scene so that, to soften the blow from the previous scene. So like, this was great. I particularly love, we have this scene and like, this is, I mean, like, obviously this was the little bit of humor or just something nice to happen. So it softened the blow from the last stuff, but this was great. And it really makes me a little bit scared for Moiraine. But Rosamund's laugh right here is just great, and her face, like the two of them together. I really want to see some more outtakes with like the two of them and them, just palling around on set. You know what I mean? I feel like they got along real well. Aviendha gets her little quest to have to teach Rand here. She's equally as upset in the TV show as she was about getting the quest in the books as well.
Oh yeah, you'll wake up every morning, you'll go to him immediately, and you don't get to leave him till he is no longer embarrassing.
Yeah, look at that face. Look at that face that she's making. Like, she does not want to do that for sure. And yeah, like look at the way she's looking at her. This is right when she was saying this. You'll go to him when he wakes each day. Yeah, how dare you? When he wakes each day, that means I have to be awake before him every day. Madeleine might not like that. Like Madeleine looks like she's not 100% thrilled about that, but whatever. And then we finally get to see Cold Rock's Hold. What do you think?
It's gorgeous. I also love how camouflage, like all the Aiel are up against the rocks. Like it was so fun to sit there and try to find. Like obviously the guys in front are really
well. The guys in front from the angle that we're seeing them at are very obvious. But like if you were further away, you would have the backdrop of the rocks behind them, so they'd be really hard to see. And when we get
or even if they were just down, crouched down slightly.
And then like when we're in this shot, like where you can actually get the backdrop of the rocks, like do you guys see them? Do you see the
It's so good.
There's 2 Aiel hiding in the rocks in this shot, and they're pretty well hidden. And they're not even really trying to hide. We have Duder over here.
Mm-hmm.
And Duder over here. Like if they were trying to hide, we would not be able to see them. And look how well they're blended in with the rocks.
I mean, yeah, the books always talked about that. Oh, they just, they blend
right
into their surroundings. Yeah. But I could never get a good picture in my mind of what that would look like in their color. Because it was always like it was browns and tans, and then eventually
they never described them exactly. It was just the Cadensor are made up of these colors, which makes me think, do the Shido live somewhere that is the color of the soil's darker? Maybe maybe it's like near a volcanic soil. Ooh. Or some maybe. So then I love the way Rhuarc describes it. Like it's the Aiel are living in these like very natural formations without much change to them, and the way that they build their homes in them are very reminiscent of like indigenous peoples. How indigenous peoples built into like mountains and rocks and stuff. And
if you look at this, it looks no different, with the exception of the arch, than any of the other mounds of rock that are out there.
Exactly. Like you can see, like even the homes, they didn't like move. They just carved the homes into the stone that was there. And they added an awning, but like it's not like they cleared all the rock away and built homes out of the rocks, out of blocks and stuff. They just built on what was there, changing as little as possible, which is very much like the indigenous peoples of North America, and I'm sure elsewhere as well. But those are the ones I'm most up to date on in my head. The way that Rhuarc was explaining it to Rand, though, like why they live there, like the rocks keep the ground cold and the water can stay, and like it felt very Native American to me, and I enjoyed it a lot. But this scene is just gorgeous, especially as they walk through. Like, look how happy Avienda is to come home, even though she was just unhappy about their dealing with Rand. The yipping that they're doing is also very reminiscent of Native Americans too. All the different cotton sore too. Like you could see all the different dress of people. Like maybe we have some trade people in here. Not every Aiel was a warrior. Every Aiel could fight, but not every Aiel is a warrior. So then we see Roof Mistress Leon, and like again, it seems like the jewelry is specific for like this is like a status thing. So like she's a roof mistress, this is her neck piece. And then like, we know that Rhuarc and clan and maybe even like all the clan chiefs wear, a thing. And also the wise ones have like a thing. So it seems like this is like these neck pieces are very specific to symbolize their status.
Yeah, rank or status.
No one has other like necklaces or whatever you want to call this.
Adornments.
Adornments. Yeah, there you go. That are as complicated as these. These are very specific, I feel like.
Yeah, everyone else is very simple.
Yeah, like a necklace or something.
Well, even just as we meet her here, just look at her dress. Like that's Yeah,
it's embroidery.
That's embroidered. Like, it's definitely a lot nicer than what anyone else has on.
Yeah. Roof Mistress of my heart. Awesome. And then I like that we got the kiss, then we got the other kiss. A little prudishness, like Maureen she's like ooh, like she probably is just excited to see like the openness and like that she likes to see love. She's in love, and seeing love makes her think of her love. So
the cute little granddaughter Sarah, she's really cute.
Yeah, his great daughter.
His great daughter, yes. Her casualness with Rand is everything. Rand al'Thor. Rand al'Thor, the way she says his name is so cute. Even
after he shows her the tattoos, look at that face. Like she's not like super impressed with him. She's just like, all right, cool, you're the Karakar. And very, very Aiel. Very Aiel of her. Like she's a child, and this is her reaction. So I really feel like they're getting the Aiel very right. And I love it. I don't know. I felt a little weird that he was just like, roar, and then started chasing her. Like, it's not like they were playing this game. It's just, I don't know. It's not like they were playing a game like that, like a second ago, where they were like chasing each other. It was just like he's just like roar, and she runs away. I feel like she should have went No, like or like
Well, but
like
he is still a kid, and I think to me, like, he's a mythical
that's fair.
person that, like, I
It's
mean,
a good face though. It's
yeah,
definitely a good
it's a
face.
wonderful face. He's like a mythical person, and so she's like, "Oh, you are him, okay?" And he's like, "Ooh, I'm scary." I don't know. I thought it was very
Yeah,
sweet.
it's
It shows
sweet. It
more
is
about
sweet.
who he is.
It's definitely sweet. And then we get, we got to teach you how to be a dream walker. So like that
Mhm.
escalated quickly. We're getting further along in that. I can't wait to see how, I was really excited to see how like dream battling worked. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, yeah.
pushing against each other. I thought it was pretty cool.
Smelling of the note.
Yeah, so Suan smells the note. Obviously, it's got to be from Moiraine. This is the
Lots
best
of
that we could see the
handwriting.
note. Yeah, the handwriting looks really straight and neat, especially being so small. I love the font, the old tongue font that they use. It's a
It's
really
great.
cool thing that they made up for the show. I like it a lot. And her smelling of the letter is great too. Especially like you could see her face, like she looks so like she's just thinking about Moiraine, like look at that. Like she's just but then
Ugh,
right after when she takes the deep breath, she smells Moiraine for a second, but then right there,
here
she's
she
like
comes.
she smells the rose
Yep.
petals or the rose perfume or whatever she calls it. Okay, first of all, gorgeous door, and again, very lovely door. All right, but besides the door, the way that Elida enters this room is super creepy. So like
Yeah.
super duper creepy. Like the way her hand just is like she's like I'm
Oh my
coming
gosh, it
in
was
for
giving
you.
what was the little girl that would crawl out of the television with the
Oh
hair?
yeah, what was that called? The Ring.
The ring. Yeah.
The Ring. And look, she's got
And
a
look,
ring on
she
her
has a
finger.
ring.
Yeah, definitely creepy. That was a little I'm gonna enter this room as creepy as possible.
I loved the insults here that they bandied back and forth.
Oh yeah,
This is a great scene
hilarious.
for the two of them.
Oh, absolutely. Looking gorgeous as always. I just can't. We get this really awesome shot of Suan's study, and like honestly, I really like it. Like I thought it was really nice.
Oh, I thought it looked gorgeous, and she's insulting. Look at this trash.
I
You
know,
got leaders of the world come in here and sit
like
on
what do you want, a golden
this.
toilet or something?
I mean,
her
look at her. I think she does. Yeah.
She definitely does.
Yeah.
Like her putting down of Suan here is like, I really feel like the way she's putting her down, especially because of her economic status, like where she comes from, she calls her river trash.
Yeah, that's the insult that I like underlined and highlighted was river trash.
So like I feel like the writers and like Rafe and everyone, they're trying to make us not like Elida. Obviously, like we're not supposed to like her or anything, like just based off everything she's done, but they're really driving home like don't like this person. Like this person is not a good person, which I really still hope that she's not Black Aja. I hope that she's just normal evil. Like
yeah, she's just a crappy person.
She's just a shit person. She's not it's not because she's tied to the Dark One or anything. It's just she's a crap person, and the Black Aja identify her as a useful idiot, put her in charge of the White Tower, and then just puppet her and like direct her in the directions that they want her by giving her praise or contempt in whichever they need to drive her in a direction, which kind of reminds me of somebody if I think about it for half a second. I'll leave it at that though.
She's just kind of a narcissist. Like she's very single-minded in her views. She's able to try to turn most conversations the way she wants them. She's able to manipulate people.
I mean, but her skill at doing it and the eloquence in which she does it is the difference between the two people that we are referencing.
Yes,
currently.
Absolutely.
Getting us to dislike Shorey Agdashalu, that was going to be difficult. It's going to be very difficult.
Oh, for sure. Now she does confess to her what her plan is.
Yeah.
Why do you think
she pretty much tells her straight out?
Why do you think she just tells her outright what
she probably doesn't? You know what? She's probably had some sort of vision that she's interpreting the way she wants to interpret, and this is why she has her confidence.
Because in my mind, you're just giving Suan a chance to rally her votes. Yeah. Like she must be so confident that she's got the she's got the numbers that
this is her manipulation. She's laying the groundwork for something. She has a plan. Like, she's not just saying this because she's still in control here. As much as I dislike Elida as a character and think that she's pretty useless as a person, and obviously end stage Elida from the books is very erratic and chaotic and not in control.
Yeah.
Early stage Elida is obviously a great schemer and a great manipulator. And I think she's still pre-crazy Elida. So this is all by design. Everything she's doing right now is by design.
Barest hint of a curtsy right there.
I mean, like, it was, yeah. I feel like when she entered the hall with Morghese, she didn't even do that. She just went, when she greeted her, she just went like, and
this almost feels more mocking.
It's
not.
Yeah. That's exactly what I was going to say. It's either mocking or she's trying to pretend, feign that she's, so that she, lets her guard down.
So, question: how conscious is she of what's happening around her right now?
I think she's pretty cognizant of the things that are going on. I think, especially the way that that Varen talks about her here, like, my sister can do anything. Varen's probably been attempting healing and maybe delving and like looking into it, but she's been talking to her a lot. And Varen is very, very smart.
Yeah.
Brown Aja, I'm sure she's researched at some point in her life, or if not, done tons of research since this happened on, maladies of the mind and like how to help and things like that. So she's obviously doing a good job at making her not well, but giving her sister based on everything we see in this episode, giving her sister the confidence to I feel like she's aware of what she's lost. Like, she knows where she's at. Like, I feel like Adelise understands what's happened to her and that she's at a loss of capacity. So I feel like that in and of itself has given
her more strength.
Yeah, has given her more strength.
Yeah.
Or helped her ground herself to be able to start not remembering per se, but like grasping at the familiarity of things and understanding that there's more to it. So instead of like fighting it and being upset, her just personality is so strong that she's able to interpret, like dissect it and be able to understand what's happening to her so that she can move through it. She's helping herself heal as much as Varen is helping her heal here.
Well, and I think that she, like, as you said, Varen is so smart, she might be, I don't want to say manipulating, but helping remake her sister or remold her in the way that she can be the most useful, or in the way, you know what I mean, in a way that's going to be beneficial.
Yeah. And I don't think that's like a nefarious thing per se. I feel like it's like Adelise would want her to do that. Like, she wants to be useful. She wants to fight the shadow. So like, yes, like, help me become whatever I can become in this state to still do that.
Yep. Agreed.
Them using the Black Sisters as bait was really cool. I love the that they're basically, they've accepted in their minds that Elida is Black Aja, and now they're looking for the proof that she's Black Aja instead of trying to investigate whether or not she is Black Aja, which is part of the reason I think she's not going to be. But
they don't seem to be looking for truth. They seem to be looking for proof of what they already believe.
Yeah, they're looking for evidence to back up their assumption instead of trying to find, the actual truth in this part. And I think that's going to bite them in the ass for sure. Yeah. Like, this whole scene is pretty funny, like, for so many ways.
And I'm happy about doing it. Like, she's very much, what is happening?
Yeah, might not be good at it either. Like,
hand sewing this dumb dress. But also she's casual. Like, look at her. She's got her leg up. Her dress is half up, just like in the middle of the
middle of the square, just chilling.
Very small village here.
They do make themselves very comfortable. Like, Maxim and Alana make themselves very comfortable very quickly. Yeah. Yeah. You know how she said they put on the clay and ashes of their loved ones. until it absorbs into the skin. But it seems like she keeps adding more because like a couple of like there's been several scenes where it's been not completely gone, but way less evident. And then it seems like she adds more, which whatever, you keep doing it until it's all gone. That makes sense. But I feel like that would last for a very long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Maxim in this scene is very convinced that they're gonna die, that they're all gonna die, and he's like, let's leave. Like we can get a boat, we can
bug out.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll go to Ibajar and get those dresses that you really like.
And then we comment on. I mean, don't get me wrong.
He's a handsome baker boy.
He's not bad looking. Not bad looking. Looks, what he looks like a little bit like a Fire Nation firebender.
Ooh, yeah, a little bit.
It makes me think of like almost Fire Lord Ozai a little. Except he has Fire Lord Ozai didn't have the mustache he does, but yeah. he looks like Fire Lord Ozai a little bit. Oh, and look, more flannel in the Two Rivers. Who would have thought? He's like, have you tasted the red? Like, yeah, he's like, yeah, I don't think he's not too good with his hands, I don't think, is like the vibe that he was giving there.
Uh-huh.
But first, Fail and the BC maidens come in. Bane and Chiad come in. It's much more better with ABC maidens.
Yeah.
Let's see what's going on in the Two Rivers. Anything interesting going on in the Two Rivers in this shot though? We got
are those swords? Like
some guys over there. Where? Oh, the children.
It looked like he was the kid in the far left in the blue. Looked like he was maybe holding like a sword.
Yeah, it looks like he might be holding a stick or something. Yeah. Like they're playing. I like that. That's fun.
We're gonna fight the Trollocs.
A noticeable lack of sheep. Not very many. I don't see any sheep or cattle at all.
Mm-mm.
No animals, chickens. But very living scene. I mean, it's a very like lively set. Like it seems like the village is alive, and I like that. There's people and things going on. Isabel is gorgeous. I love her as Fael.
So beautiful.
Yeah.
Also, she just has like big expressive eyes, and the way that she like looks down at Perrin, not even from up on the horse, but the way she just looks down at him is really.
Yeah, she's always like.
Mm-hmm. But now we know that the Whitecloak reinforcements have gone, and so now it's the time to go rescue.
The shade that Avienda is throwing at Rand in the scene is great. She's like, it's what did she say? It's appropriate to talk to the people to your left and right. Unless you're teaching somebody, and like,
which is almost directly the conversation they have in the books too.
Yeah,
I feel like this season has done a really good job of giving us these moments that the book readers remember.
Look at that face.
Eye roll.
She has epic eye rolls. Especially right?
Yep.
There. Like she's like,
that face, that smirk.
So Melinda's laying it on really thick here, which really makes me think that we're gonna have like the Matt stuff with Melinda with Lan. Not necessarily like the relationship portion, but the
physical relationship.
Yeah, the like her pushing him to be better and like come out of the dragon shadows. What she was saying to Matt, she's going to be pushing Lan to pick up the banner of Malkier, and maybe reveal herself to be a dark friend and try to kill him instead of trying to kill Matt.
Yeah, we haven't seen a lot of that story, Lan's early story yet, so this is a good way to bring it in.
Moiraine seems to either be jealous, which I don't think.
No.
Or like she has like maybe just a bad feeling, like she's getting bad vibes from Melinda.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what this look makes me feel like.
I mean, she's really good at reading people. We know that.
Yeah, he's not so sure if he wants to eat that grub. He's really like, look at that face. Like he's like,
don't do it.
And he does. Yeah, no thanks. I'm not eating that. Like I've eaten bugs before. Like I've had like deep fried grasshoppers and things like that. But I'm not eating.
Fear Factor. There were so many things on Fear Factor I could have done. When it came to eating the things, I would have been like, I'm out. Can't do it anymore. I'm done.
Nothing juicy.
No, not crunch. If it squirts or no.
No. Yeah, no thanks.
I would vomit.
Yeah, and then she offers one to Moiraine is like another way. It seems like she's throwing a little shade at Moiraine. Like, like it definitely really seems like she's laying it on really thick and she's trying. Would you like one? And then Moiraine really answers her real quick here. She's like, I'm finished. Like they're definitely they're definitely having a little exchange of fire across the bow in this scene for sure. And the others pick up on that as well. Lan's a little uncomfortable too. Look at him. He's like, ooh.
Well, that's because the thing is biting his throat the whole way.
Oh yeah, true. I forgot about that. All right. Oh okay. Yeah. He did. I don't think he enjoyed that grub. Look at that face. Okay, and then we get this shot, which is like the wise one's house or maybe like it's like the dream walking hut, or I don't know. It seems like a specific place, but for the Isle, before we go forward with that, I want to show a picture of what I'm like 99% sure was the inspiration for the shot, which is this place, which is a real place in the world. It's in Egypt. It's in Petra. It's called Siq or Seek. It's SIQ is the name of the temple that's there, and this was carved directly into the rock. Like that's not like they didn't build a building and put it there, like, or build the building in there. They carved this entire building out of the rock.
And it's so intricate.
Yeah.
Like so intricate. Look at the top of the columns.
It's gorgeous.
Like all that. Yeah, it's really beautiful.
And if you've seen Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, this might look familiar too. But definitely I feel like is the inspiration for this.
Well, and clearly like everything else, even the houses and the other windows in Cold Rock seems so much more natural. Like the windows kind of flowed with the shape of the rock. This is very clearly designed and cut into the rocks.
Yeah. I mean, you can see that here. Like there's not a lot of like architectural design in the other
nothing
things,
is square. It's fit. The window is fit where.
Yeah. Even the door there, the doorway, it doesn't even have a door. Which come on, all these gorgeous doors. Yeah, I don't know if this is like a house. I think this is more of like a meditation spot or like even like a common area. Like like, you know, they have a lot of seating around the outside there. Like you can see like pillows and things. It's not just the central area. I feel like this isn't maybe just a wise one place, but probably accepted like, oh, when the wise ones are in there, let them do their thing. I like this. This is a great timer that they kind of have here. I mean, I was trying to gauge like how long this would give them in the dream world. You know, obviously without knowing what kind of wax and stuff that is, like it could melt really fast, really slow. We don't know. But like, I was like, if it was a regular candle wax, I was thinking like maybe a half an hour, 45 minutes.
I don't know. Yeah, I'd say maybe 45 or an hour. That's a really fat candle and it's going to tunnel itself down. But still, I think it's really good to set that time limit. And I like, what do you think why can she hear it both in the dream and? Maybe
because they told her she can. Yeah, I don't know. Like it's an odd choice, and unless this is maybe a special thing, like maybe this is a Tel'aran'rhiod in and of itself. I don't think so, but like I don't know. It's a little bit of a soft, like a softly done system here. It's not very hard if you understand that. And then you know, like this is the dream. So like now she's in the dream.
I think
exactly the same.
This episode gives you so much of the exposition that happens in the books. Like clearly she's having to lay down in the center, close her eyes, calm herself down. And you see them just able to almost meditate and just close their eyes and be able to enter the dream.
Yeah. And they were doing it on horseback and in wagons and stuff in the later books, like just at the drop of a hat. And so was Egwene once she was fully trained.
And you couldn't you like, you could be half awake
asleep. And you were transparent a little bit when you were in it when they did that. They weren't fully there.
But I feel they give you really good explanation of like going into your own dream, going fully into the Tel'aran'rhiod, going, you know, without just having to tell us. They do a really good job of showing us.
And then this scene is awesome. First of all, I'm so happy we got the dress again. This is her Amyrlin dress that she was wearing in her arch testing. So I'm so glad we got this again because it's gorgeous. And they call it armor. I mean, there is armor. Like it looks like there is armor built into it. So for sure, like it's armor. I just
took it to mean like
this is what she imagined as armor.
This is what makes her feel strong. This is what makes her feel safe and protected.
Yeah, it's not actual armor. It's just like what her perception of armor or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, no, this dress is freaking gorgeous. I'm so glad we got to see it again. And also I want to call attention to the effect of the transition is really cool. like it actually instead of just popping in and out of existence, like her other clothes like morph into that. Even like you see like that, like watch her head, like the bit on her head doesn't just disintegrate off her, it comes off and then forms into like part of the neck piece, it kind of looked like.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Okay, and then if you watch when she takes it off, you can see it, especially at the bottom where the dress like falls away, like the parts of the dress that are completely not part of the other part of the costume. You can see the way the graphics are done here are how we've seen a lot of things change in Tel'aran'rhiod when things change. And it makes me want to go back and rewatch all of season 1, all of season 2, and look for this type of transition for things to see if, you know, there were scenes that maybe we were questioning, is it Tel'aran'rhiod, is it not? And we see that and we can be like, oh, no, definitely Tel'aran'rhiod.
It's also what's in all of like the promotional material for this season, you know, which I think tells us how much the dream Tel'aran'rhiod is going to play into their story this season.
Oh yeah. So the Tel'aran'rhiod, like her immediately, like it seems like just after the scene, like when they talk about how quickly she was able to transfer, like they were surprised, like that she was able to do that. I love the way the touching the dream looks. Like this is the way, like you know, when they talk about how people sometimes just touch the dream and when they're dreaming, like regular folks, not dreamwalkers, they look like almost like ghosts or apparitions. Like I like that. That's cool.
They're very lightly there.
Yeah. The only bit, and I understand why they probably didn't do it as evident as it is in the books, because it would probably be very expensive to do. But like the ephemeralness of small things and the way things move around constantly and shift, like little things that would be, you know,
things that were not as permanent in the real world, but could have more. Yeah.
Yeah. Like
but maybe this is kind of a nod to that. Like I know the kid's playing with it, but it's something in the dream that's being able to change.
For sure. It's just like, I always imagined like if you look in the background there, like all the stuff that's in the stalls, like the stuff that's for sale, I would imagine that just constantly shifting if this was, you know, the way they described it in the books, but not a big deal. Like it's still very evidently otherworldly, and like, especially the way they're doing the lighting. Like you could tell that the lighting is weird. It looks off, especially because it's this city scene and there's nobody there. It already looks kind of
it looks muted.
Yeah.
There's no sun. Remember they would talk about that. The glow just kind of came from everywhere.
From everywhere, yeah. And there was no actual sun. So there's our girl. It
in
seems,
pants, by the way.
Oh yeah. Always in the best outfits. Lanfear's got impeccable taste. It seems that based off of the way she speaks here, it seems that Lanfear is actually stalking Egwene, like looking for her actively, which is, you know, frightening. I'm so glad you're here.
You do in the dream, you can, you know, she's not actively having to use the power right now. She's just making it happen.
I'm just curious at what we see in these flashes. Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
That's her overcoming. Yes, you know, and then a flash to the waist, and then it's like we're going back. So like this is her overcoming it, and then like we go back from the White Tower into the waist, back to Cold Rock's Hold, across the waist, back to here, and
because potentially it's her being returned back to her. So.
This makes me think of the final shot of Inception. This makes me think of that final shot of Inception with the top spinning a little bit. But yeah, now she's back. So
terrified.
So like in this scene, like here, Bear is like, how did you leave this temple in the dream? Like she's like, they were so surprised that she was able to travel that quickly. So like, obviously I feel like this might be a way of them showing us like, oh, Egwene's really powerful in the dream too. Like they're building that up already. She just calls out herself as lying. And
they completely ignore it.
Yeah. But that's not that's not in that scene though. That's later.
Is it
when
later?
She goes in. Yeah, I think it's when she goes in with Moiraine later. Alviarin is awesome. I love the way that they're you know, strictly with logic and, you know, problem solving and facts and stuff like that. And the way she speaks so clipped and matter-of-factly, and like, you know, there's no embellishment in her speech. She's which is very, you know, white Aja. And I like, you know, we don't get to see a lot of we haven't gotten to see a lot of other Ajas on screen, like, and have central speaking roles like this, especially in the books too. You know, there's not a lot of reference to the whites, and to the grays. Get like the least representation is the grays. So I'm glad to see it here. And Alviarin also fantastic looking. Her costume is just wonderful. I love the entire character of Alviarin.
Mm-hmm. Clearly, she is trying to garner votes in the hall. Yeah. I feel like trying to convince the whites is a good place to start. Like, if she can hit them with the right logic, they're going to go to her side pretty quick.
Yeah. And getting the whites, you know, with all of their logic and like matter of factness will help getting the other Ajas. So if she can get them on her side. Yeah,
they're super dispassionate. So she's, you know, if you can, I feel like getting them is a very shrewd move.
Yeah. I mean, and the way Alviarin answers her questions is like, well, it was only logical to go with Siuan at that time, so that's why I did.
Logical.
Yeah, very, very Vulcan of her. Mm-hmm. The way Elida is using, like we as the viewers know, and Adelise knows that, you know, they're kind of in control of the situation. Like, you know, they orchestrated this.
This was intentional, yes.
But Elida doesn't know that in this scene, and the way she's willing to just use somebody who's so vulnerable is definitely, I feel like, a way for the writers to get us to dislike Elida, like showing how, like, the depths that she's willing to go to get what she wants. Like, she's gonna, you know, use this person who's so vulnerable.
Yeah, she has no line. Like, she's gonna do with what in the 3 oaths allow her to do to get whatever the hell she wants.
Yeah, and that is ultimately her downfall.
Yep.
I laughed out loud.
Yeah.
Like, when this scene popped up, like when she lifted her hand, like, especially just the way, like, how slowly she does it. Watch. Like, she covered her mouth, like, don't say it, and then, like, she's just like, okay, we can't say it.
That's such a childlike thing to do, you know?
Yeah.
That mimicry.
I laughed out loud. And again, another little bit of just like a little insertion of humor, just to, like, the way that they insert the humor into this is just absolutely wonderful. I want to tell every single writer of the episodes that have these really great humor, like, bits dropped in, like, well done.
I go where she goes.
Yes, so good. And her.
So Elaine is trying to school them on Tanico. She's trying to get them up on the city and what it's about, and hey, we got a mission here. Here's what we're gonna do.
And like, it's the way she's like taking charge of the situation, since like Nynaeve can't because she's, you know, seasick. Yeah, actively vomiting into a bucket. Is very much like book Elaine, and I'm here for it. I like it, and especially at the odds that Elaine and Matt are at. Like, I like the.
Yeah, she's trying to. He's never responded to authority, and even though she's doing it lightly, he's like, "Yeah, no, don't care, absolutely not."
And then again, another little bit of humor when they were like, Matt said, you know, they won't let us on deck because they're afraid Nynaeve will throw herself overboard, and she's like, "Is that an option?" Like,
we do that.
Great. It's just a great little bit of humor, and it made me laugh. Like who knew Nynaeve was funny? Everyone. And Nynaeve is actually pretty funny.
How dare you laugh at her pain? She's miserable.
The ship looks great. Like, the ship looks really cool. This whole shot is really just gorgeous. Like, you know, you see the moon and like the way the ship breaks the water, and we really get a great look at the whole ship, and he is gorgeous and sturdy and sleek.
Before it was said out loud, did you think we were on a sea folk ship? Because we've talked a lot about that whole plot line.
Are we going to get the sea folk?
Possibly, you know, not existing. Did you feel that coming this episode? Well, I did not.
I didn't feel it coming this episode. Every time they've been on a ship, I've been wondering, because they did they did kind of mention the sea folk in in a interview, like way back, like a few months ago. Mm-hmm. It might have been CCXP, the Brazil interview, where they mentioned it. I wasn't sure if this was a sea folk ship until we saw her until we saw the Wave Mistress. The ship is gorgeous.
Very narrow.
Yeah.
Like, very narrow.
Oh yeah. So this ship is built for speed. Like they said, we hired the fastest ship. So like, this ship is built for speed. Very narrow, very sleek. It's very maneuverable. Like, it's definitely not like any kind of this is a person transport ship and not a cargo transport ship as much, I feel like, for sure. There we go. Well, she would be the wave mistress.
Mm-hmm.
She's the one that controls the one power on the ship. Yeah, she looks really good. I love the tattoos. You can see she's got the earrings, very piratey still. I'm not upset at the lack of breasts, bare breasts. Like, again, like, I don't think Robert Jordan was being like wish fulfilling, like, on purpose, but unnecessary. It's not necessary. I know maybe we might have some people that might get upset about that, but I am not.
Well, but also we don't know. We know they're getting closer to Tamchico, and isn't it like that land has to have been without, like, you haven't been able to see land for a day? Like, who knows? Maybe they're just too close to
maybe they're just too close to land, and
also knowing that they have passengers below too.
Yeah,
because they were conscious of that. But they look fantastic. I have 0 notes. Oh, I do love. There's a little moment here where she's telling Nynaeve. She says something like, "Unlock your legs." Go, and is essentially telling her to go with the flow rather than like fighting the rocking of the ship. She's like, just loosen your knees, which is very true if you ever get seasick too.
Absolutely. Yeah. I grew up on boats and I worked on boats for 14 years, and absolutely, like, when people are resisting and fighting against it is when you start to feel the motion. When you just, especially, it's the same as like riding a horse. Like, also, like, you have to kind of just let it go. When you fight is when you get saddle sores and shit. So yeah, absolutely. Great little bit here. They definitely talked to someone who knew boats. And again, gorgeous. I love the jewelry. I couldn't wait to see Seafolk jewelry because of how awesome all of the other jewelry is in the show. So I was like, it's gonna look
done so well on all of the ear cuffs and the ear jewelry. You knew this was gonna look good. I can't wait to see it in the light of day, in brighter light.
Absolutely. I love the way she barks at the sailor here too. She's like, "Sailor." I wish this wasn't this, like, they were focused on her here so we can get a really close look at all the stuff on her cheek, but they were focused on Elaine. Min sneaking off. That was great. Yeah, this is great. Another little great scene, another little insertion of humor again, with Matt and Min, and, you know, him trying to be like, "Can I come stay with you?" So I'm unsure, like, I'm still leaning toward, like, I'm like 90-10. That Dane is going to be the redeemable Whitecloak, and he's genuine when he's saying, like, "No, I don't want to put them to the question."
Yes.
But I want to note that every time that's happened, I feel like it's been within earshot of the coffins. So, like, it might just be a way to manipulate them a little bit. I'm not sure yet.
I just feel like for him, like, he wants Perrin. Perrin is his problem. They are a means to an end, but he is a good human and doesn't necessarily think that they need to die, because there was that distinction in the books too between the questioners and the Whitecloaks. And but here he is, Mr. Evil himself.
Oh yeah,
I love him.
And he's still disheveled. He's cleaner than he was, but he's still disheveled. His stuff is still not pristine white. It's still dirty. Now, does that mean he's evil, or does it mean that he's a bad Whitecloak, therefore a good person? I don't know. You know, he's being genuine here for a minute, like, not being a horrible person. You know, he's attacking Natty and they get upset. And once we actually do see the channeling is when he gets really mad.
Yep.
Can't tell which one did it or if it was both of them. I'm going to lean that it's going to end up being both of them, to be honest with you.
That's probably fair.
But.
Oh, well.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess she could just be looking at her. It's true. But then, you know, he's very Natty stepping up, you know, really, really showing, you know, that she is a loving mother. You know, like, you know, we saw in season 1, you know, she didn't really pay a lot of mind to her daughters. Like, she let Matt, she really leaned on Matt and just let him take care of them. She didn't worry about whether they ate dinner. She didn't worry about where they were sleeping. Like, if they were asleep, if they were safe. Like, they even didn't, you know, when the attack happened, they didn't know where they were. They just left them. Yeah. So, like, the fact that she's taking this much of a step forward, and on top of that, we know that Abel went out and saved Perrin's family. I feel like this is a little bit showing like the redemption of the Coffins a little bit, like they're becoming better people.
I hope so.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I hope so. I hope so too. But I really don't think Natty, I did, like, when I was watching this first time, I was like, yeah, she's not going to make it. After he said, do what you want with her, like, I was like, oh, well, that's the end of Natty Coffin. Like,
ugh.
Yeah, the way he brushed her hair back, it's just, oh God, he's such a sick bastard.
Oh, it's disgusting. Like that level of just, I don't even know what to call it. It's gross.
Just look, he's a sociopath. He's 100% a sociopath. Like, look at that face. Ugh.
It's like, oh.
Though I love Abdu Silas, though. Like, I love him.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I hate that I like him so much.
Yeah. Yeah, look at that. He's very proud of, he's very happy with himself. Like, let's go take care of her. Oh, God. Now he's planning. Now, like, he's like, oh, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm like, oh, God, I hate him. This shot looks very much like the shot from episode 2 of season 1 when we first see the Whitecloak camp too.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And then obviously we need our little well-placed bit of humor to soften that. So let's check that real quick.
Ben, Chad, and I will sneak in.
And me.
No, not yet.
And me. And her.
Perfect. Like, come on. Like, that was great.
Yep.
I love that it's always them with the comedy too, because like in the books they were really funny, obviously, like not on purpose even most of the time. It was just like what you're doing was hilarious, and it perfectly executed, just great. Another great little bit of humor. Also, pretty hot. Not gonna lie.
Oh yeah.
Not gonna lie. Especially this shot right here. Like, just look at that. So this whole scene here is very similar to the Eye of the World Whitecloak escape scene that Perrin goes through. Like, I know we got that already, but this sequence is closer to the way it was in that than I
absolutely thought that. Yep. Yeah. Here's their disagreement. She wants to create cover, and he's like, no, we're not doing that. Yeah.
Yeah. And Loyal's like, stealth is not my strength, or subtlety is not my strength.
Well, and here we kind of find out her purpose for coming.
She's looking for another warder. She knows that the people of the Two Rivers are still very much the people of Manetheren. Like the blood runs strong there. She says it finally.
She says, I want to build an army. I want to build an army from this old blood. And the only thing he cares about is revenge. He wants Leandrin dead. Like, she's looking to save the world, and he's looking to avenge his lover.
One of the things that a lot of people had problems with the Two Rivers Company in the books was like, oh wow, so all of a sudden these farmers are like super soldiers. But like, this is a way to kind of make it make sense too, like a little bit. Like, obviously it's the same in the books. The blood runs strong there, but also, now we're gonna have an Aes Sedai actually with the intent to make them a fighting unit. Then after like a little bit with Melindra and Lan, which isn't really any more information than we already had. No. We have what I'm pretty sure is going to be the first wedge in between their relationship. This is the beginning of the end for Rand and Egwene. Particularly.
Go ahead. No, I just said I definitely wrote breaking up.
Oh yeah,
this is our road to breaking up.
Yeah. But particularly this part right here, and I'll run it back and forth, but it's pretty evident. Like, she pulls back. He leans in. She pulls back. He leans in. She pulls back. And then even when he gets closer for a second there, watch her hands.
Oh, almost.
She almost opened it. Then she made a fist, and then she reached up to his face.
Yeah.
Like, she's not comfortable. Like, this wasn't a comfortable. And she doesn't even reach up to his face. She just touches his arm.
But I think that reaction is incredibly authentic to survivors of trauma.
Yeah.
Like.
And even maybe someone who's questioning their relationship, even at that level too. Like, obviously the trauma is probably what's overarching there, but she could be having the thoughts already of maybe Rand isn't the one for me. The way Moiraine has been handling Sakarnin this whole time really shows like like subconsciously she's becoming attached to it because I feel like it's because of how much of the power she felt through it. Like she's so like, oh my God, I need this. This is mine. Like it's almost like, like a junkie a little bit. Okay, then we jump to Matt asleep in his little cot. I love the rooms too. The rooms are great. Like the way that all the rooms look. And we could see here Min is drawing over and over again, like the redstone doorway, Matt hanging. You can see Matt hanging in the one just under her hands here. His body. Yeah. I mean, obviously we'll see it in a second when Matt picks up that picture right there, actually. Yeah. That's the one. That's also the one that's like most complete. So, and then obviously he finds it. So we can't, he's hanging from what looks like the redstone doorway. Yeah. Like if you look here, like that's the redstone doorway, and it looks like he's hanging from the redstone doorway.
Oh yeah, because those are the snake. That interesting. I didn't notice that. I just looked at it and was like, oh, tree. Yeah. Wow.
So this is interesting. I don't see how the rope is attached. So like I don't know if it's tied, say, around Ashendare or not, but like we can't really see that. So this scene in particular and her obsession with wanting to save Matt like this strongly really makes me feel like we might not have a Rand quadruple or thruple or whatever you want to call it, 4 people relationship. I think it might be Rand, Aviendha, and Elaine, and maybe we might get Eminem or Min and Matt. I like it. I like Eminem. I wrote Eminem.
I like M&Ms. I don't know about this theory. That would be. I don't like. It's not visceral hate, but that would be hard for me. They got to give me a little bit more before I'm ready.
Listen, they're pretty good together. I like them together, and like it's cool too. Like the seer and the person that like alters chance.
Okay, but if his story goes. I love Min. Like Min in the books, she's higher on my list of the females. If his story goes where his story is going with someone else coming into the picture, like what does that mean for her?
We could not get that whole other character that we're not.
I don't want to hear about that.
Okay, yeah, but I'm shipping them hard, and I kind of want it to happen, to tell you the truth.
Okay, see, but what wakes her up here then?
She did start awake.
I feel like she can feel it. And like maybe you have to be within, certain range. But think about how big this is compared to me just like channeling to open a door or something. Yeah,
but like she's been doing it the whole time because they made so well time.
But like, they were below deck, so maybe that was far enough away.
Yeah, I don't know.
I love that motion.
Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous.
It's like a dance.
Yeah, it looks like air bending or water bending a little bit.
Yeah.
There's a good shot of this of her
chain.
Yeah, look at that. All looks great. I wish we could see the different metals on the chain. We know that that meant something for each metal was like a thing for them.
Well, I'll be curious what everybody else has to say. Like, drop it in the comments. Do you think that we can sense channeling, that like other channelers can sense channeling in the television show or not?
It looks gorgeous. I think no. We'll see what everyone else thinks. She gives Nynaeve some great advice here about channeling, the way that she's like, I can tell you can channel, and then they have their discussion about the block.
Well, yeah, no, she just says I can tell you can channel, and Nynaeve says sometimes I can. And just the way that Nynaeve's face responds, and then the advice that she gives her, which is like, you don't like to let go of control, do you? Like, I can see it in your feet. I can see it in your feet on the deck. You can't control the one power. Like, you have to, it flows like the ocean. I could see the sea folk being an intricate part of breaking her block or helping her kind of learn to let go. Yeah. Maybe that happens for her a little bit.
I kind of like the choice of not using the word surrender. And they're more talking around it, like, you have to let go, you have to be willing to go with the flow, you have to be willing to let it take you and things like that, but not I don't know. I never liked when they talked about surrendering to it.
Well, and that's not something Nynaeve would ever do. She,
No.
She doesn't surrender. And so to her, that's giving up
Too much control.
her power.
Way too much control. Oh, the other bit that we got from the channeling too was that like it shows that the Aes Sedai are not like the be all end all of channelers, especially because they're like, we don't want to go to the tower. Like,
yeah. No, thanks.
Yeah, I like that they're building on that and showing it. I'm glad, like especially because we've seen the Aiel, now we're seeing the Windfinders, so we'll see how much more like the Aes Sedai are just another option essentially. They're not the best. Okay, so the other thing that we get in this part too is she asks them to promise not to say anything, and then they just say, "Okay, we promise we won't say anything," and she just takes it like unquestioningly is like, okay, she believes that to be true, and I think it's because she either they've told her or she's made the assumption and they didn't correct her that they are in fact Aes Sedai.
Yeah,
and she probably knows that the Aes Sedai have the oath about telling the truth, and they said it really plainly. We promise we won't do it. So Min leans into like her having the more city experience here, like down on the streets, like she's more connected to that level of things, and she has some information about Tanico, so that's more like book Min a little bit, and this is like the beginning of our Black Aja detective hunting bounty 9 even Elaine bounty hunters thing. Like, yes, it's like the detective agency, but it's also like I feel like it's like they're bounty hunting. Like okay, then I want to bring up this scene. So this is like the furthering of my shipping of Mat and Min is right after Mat says yes, we can trust her. Like Min looks very happy that he said that. Like it looks like that meant something to her that he said that. He's like, watch her face. Like she's she's thinking about it. Like, oh, okay, yeah, like cool, yeah. He said he could trust me, but then she stops for a second. She thinks about it, and look at that face. Like she's like, oh, like she liked that.
I don't know.
Really,
we'll see.
Like, look at her. Like I really feel like she's into Mat. I really feel like, and I'm liking it. I really am liking it. Like I feel like at this point, if she ends up with Rand after the building of the relationship between Mat and Min, it's going to feel forced. It's going to be like she's only doing it because she saw it in a vision or whatever. And we don't even have confirmation that she did see that. Don't. Yeah. So this shot of Tanico is gorgeous. Very Tortuga. Like I know I've said it a million times, but now I'm like,
fireworks. I had noticed the fireworks in the background before.
I haven't noticed those fireworks either.
Very cool.
I wonder if maybe we'll get some illuminators at some point. Very poignantly telling Mat that the city is dangerous and then showing us the hanged man, I feel like is not a coincidence.
The guy that just looks slightly vaguely like him. Just going to say, not exactly, but young man.
Yeah.
Here we go.
It also really makes me think like confirmation we're getting the Mat hanging in Tanico, which goes back to my theory of like we're gonna get the Finn scene, but it's gonna happen here instead of in the Waste.
Instead of there, yeah.
So I know a lot of people are like Elaida just murders her and then she's torturing Joya, but I think the people that were saying that don't remember the exact words of the 3 oaths. So let's just read those real quick. To speak no word that is not true, to make no weapon with which one man may kill another, and to never use the one power as a weapon except against dark friends or shadow spawn, or in the last extreme defense of her life or the life of her warder or another Aes Sedai. So these are dark friends. Very simple.
Confirmed dark friends.
Yeah, by their own mouths too. Like they said that they are Black Aja like several times in these things, and obviously they are. They attacked. So that is why the oaths allow her to do this, is because they are dark friends. This scene is very like rough. Like the fact that
the torture.
The lengths that she's willing to go. And wow, man, that's some good body contortioning. And then obviously we have our Jaichim the Grey coming out of the shadows.
Yep, there we go.
Now, that was interesting. Let's see. Watch the background here. Oh, no. He just steps into frame. Never mind. Okay. You can see him step into frame. If you watch the bottom left corner, like the darkness there, you'll see his hand. as he steps into frame. You could see him right there.
Yep.
As he walks behind her.
Yep.
Jaichim the Grey. So now both Joya and Naomi are dead. Do you think that? Oh wow! You know what this is? So like this, even the clothing that he's wearing here is like a parody of the Whitecloak's armor. Like if you look,
yeah, it's got like the crest on the side.
Yeah, and it has like that thing where you know how they have the one arm has the armor on it. Like that's very much like a parody of the Whitecloak armor. I like it.
Now he's a dark cloak.
Obviously, yeah,
dark cloak.
It's black, gray. He's a
gray cloak. Gray cloak armor. There you go.
Gray cloak. Jaichim the Grey. Look at Leane's face. Like she's so pissed that there's a shadow spawn in her tower.
This entire season gives such good face. Like it's just good.
Ooh.
Oh, here he comes.
Yeah, I want to see that. That's cool. Like, yeah, look at that. Oh God. I fuck Leanne.
Just
look at that.
Smashed him into the concrete.
She's happy with herself. Look at that. She's definitely happy with herself. And then she's like, oh, wait a minute. I forgot.
What's
happening? Be happy. Yeah. Jaichim the Grey hasn't had time for his skin to go all gray and his hair to go all gray yet. The fact that she's like willing to heal her here is big. And like, you know, she easily could just not heal her, and that would not violate any of the 3-0s, and a lot of her problems would go away.
Oh yeah, no one would ever need to know. I mean, Leanne's not going to tell anybody.
I don't think so, and I think Leanne would support it at this point.
But probably,
like, it really is a testament to her character, like who Suan is.
She's a good person. Yeah. Elida's a crappy person.
Yeah, especially if Elida is still like, if this isn't going to affect Elida at all in her decision-making processes moving forward, like that's just going to add to the dislike of Elida.
Yep. Well, and I think situation reversed and it's Suan on her back on the floor. Like, I don't think Elida's healing her.
I don't think so either. I think she would let her die 100%.
Because calculating, like, that's the better choice for her.
Absolutely.
I love this fog, by the way.
Absolutely great scene.
No.
Yeah. The killing. Yeah, especially the killing of the wolves portion of this really makes me think of the book 1, Eye of the World, Whitecloak encampment escape with Aaron. Like it's very much tying back to that. And then we have Child Buyer. Now, Child Buyer is also, he's like the leader of, well, him and Dane are the leaders of the group in that Child Buyer and Jeff from Bornhold are the leaders of that group, and Dane is there though. So having Child Buyer there also kind of harkens back to that Eye of the World Whitecloak escape scene.
Also, speaking of not good people.
Yeah. And fun fact, full spoiler by the way for Wheel of Time, or full spoiler for Child Buyer's storyline. Dane is the one that actually ends up killing him later on when Child Buyer tries to stab Perrin in the back after he rescues the Whitecloaks. And then, you know, we rescue the girls, and then, you know, we don't need to look at the goriness of this part. I think we saw it enough in the thing, but Perrin happens upon Natty, what's left of Natty Coffin, and wow, that is horrible. Like, like this scene. Like, I know we've been kind of jokingly talking about how, you know, Abdul Silas is making us like love Iman Balda because he's like such a good actor, and he's you know, again, also not bad looking. But this scene filled me with hate.
Oh, like, absolutely.
Oh man, like I easily went, like it tipped the scales. I no longer like Child Vala. I don't even like to hate him. I just hate him now. And then obviously, you know, Alana's not going to have a good night when she gets shot with like 5 arrows or 6 arrows or however many arrows.
Like, how did they find her?
Well, you know, Eamon Valda is good at what he does. You know, he's good at tracking down women who can channel. And, you know, he had all those rings. He had like
2, 3, 4. I think she might have had 6.
1, 2, 3.
No,
4,
just 5.
Yeah, 5 arrows.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
For now, it's 5.
Still not good.
Now she easily can turn the bond back on so that Maxim can feel it, which is like going back and watching it after hearing him say it, which is again another well-paced little bit of humor.
Mm-hmm.
You turn the bond on 5 arrows ago. Like, that was great. This whole exchange with Dane and him is great. Dane starts to doubt whether or not he thinks Perrin's a dark friend and wants to kill him. Perrin starts to feel a little bit for Dane. This exchange is just wonderful. This entire fight scene is one of the better fight scenes I've seen in the show, though. The choreography here is great. The stunt work is great. Just absolutely wonderful. One of the better fight scenes that we've seen in the entire show thus far, for sure. And
her with her knives.
Fael's gangster.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Just gangster. And then Maxim comes to the rescue over here. He takes out it's either 6 or 7. One of them is off camera a little bit, so we don't really see if he takes him out. But he takes out either 6 or 7 Whitecloaks on his way to rescue her, and only gets 1 stab wound and 1 arrow in him.
Just 1.
There's the arrow.
Mm-hmm.
And this is so hard. She pulls this freaking arrow out of herself. Come on, that's so gangster. She's awesome. Look at her face. Pulls the arrow out, and then she just lets it levitate off. It's almost like Yondu from Marvel. So great, so great.
You turned the bomb back on 5 arrows ago.
And even she laughs. Look,
Yeah.
he's that's the, oh my god, I'm in so much pain, but that was funny.
That's more the don't make me laugh. This hurts.
Yeah, definitely. Gorgeous shots here. Another epic vista if I've ever seen one. We also get a little bit of a crack in their relationship here. There's their exchange is a little Grand is questioning it, but then she just shuts him up by kissing him.
Well, she says, "I love you."
Yeah.
She says, "I love you." I think he has said, "I love you" to her, or "I could have loved you" up to this point, and she has not said that back to him yet.
I'm getting worried for Moiraine's safety with her wanting to, get this message to Siuan so quickly. So I feel especially, looking back to what you said before about how oh, look, Egwene had to lay down to enter the dream. And now look at what's happening here. We have Moiraine laying down to go into the dream, and Egwene sitting in the meditative position and just being able to enter with very little to no answer. She's already
how long has this been? 2 nights that now can suddenly be so much more proficient.
But yeah, she's obviously progressing very fast. The poofing into the area, so we could see,
poofy.
It looks very the poof, or it's kind of, I don't even know. They look like they got confettied into the area. But again, looks the same as all of the other kind of transitions we've seen in Tel'aran'rhiod so far. So I really want to go back and rewatch season 1 and 2 and just look for those. Yeah. So we're in the love shack again. So it looks like in her dreams, this is where Siuan goes, which makes sense. This is the only time she gets really any respite. But
she tells her something pretty important here. Moiraine tells Siuan something pretty important, I've done my job. I found the Dragon Reborn.
And you didn't. You failed.
You didn't get the tower ready to bend the knee to him, which was your whole job.
Yeah.
Failed.
And I think it also what that also kind of does is it confirms that the idea of caging the Dragon Reborn is more of a tower accepted, I don't want to say doctrine or law it's written down, but that is what the general consensus of the Aes Sedai is, that they are going to do to the Dragon Reborn. Not some of the Aes Sedai think they should, which is what it was in the books. This is more the Aes Sedai understand that this is what they're going to do to the Dragon Reborn, and Siuan was supposed to get them off of that and make them realize that they need to follow the Dragon Reborn, and she apparently has failed in that, and it's probably not going to be good for her.
No.
And I'm not sure if her walking away from her in this scene is a kind of a way to be to because Moiraine is accepted that she's going to die. So
Yeah.
is she trying to protect Siuan by not rekindling the relationship more, like in the last moments, or you know,
or protect
does she
herself.
yeah, also
It's hard
protect
to
yourself,
do what
yeah,
you have to do when there's,
when you're gonna
feelings
die.
in the mix. Well, just like it's hard to do what you're gonna do when you have this person who loves you. And
Oh,
yeah,
that's a good shot of her too, right there.
it's beautiful.
Do we think this is the last time Moiraine is going to see Siuan?
I think so. It feels really final.
It really
There's
does feel
just a
final.
finality to it. That makes me really sad. Really
and
sad.
scared. She says, "I love you," as she leans in to kiss her. So she does actually end up kissing her, and they admit that they're still in love. So it's going to be sad, I'm sure.
This was a really cool sequence where she's kind of getting to see her past.
Yeah. And also, like, well, I didn't think she was seeing her past. I felt like she was
in Nynaeve's dream.
Yeah, she's going into Nynaeve's dream. Well, I
But
thought
that was supposed to be her, right?
I thought that looks like that's the girl that played her daughter.
Oh, duh.
Yeah.
Duh.
So I really was like, oh, okay. So she's just dreaming constantly about her daughter that didn't exist but did, and she lost her, and that's horrible.
Ugh, it's very sad.
And then we have the Elaine, Avienda Titanic, I'm the king of the world scene is pretty great. Look at it. It's literally the king of the world scene. All she has to do is just put her arms under her armpits and lift her up to her arms, and it would be the exact scene. But like, this is beautiful. It's nice. She's getting to see all of her friends happy.
Does there seem to be any awareness from Egwene that like there's a different kind of channeling happening? No,
she doesn't. She's probably just imagining it just being, oh, like this is a pretty thing she's doing. This is great too. Like, so like this
hair.
Oh yeah, I kind of like it.
Just clean cut matte.
This part though, when she says I'm proud of you, like, oh my god, it's so heartbreaking. Like like I teared up a little bit the first time I watched it when this scene hit, especially like watch his face here. Like you see him gulp.
Oh, do you see him swallow? Yep.
Yeah, he swallowed like he was getting ready to cry, but he swallowed it back. And then like look at him, he's fighting it a little bit. And then he took that deep breath and he's like, all right, yeah, no, it's great. Oh god, I feel so bad for him when he finds out. I feel so bad. And also like, all Matt wants is his mom to be proud of him and to take care of his sisters and his mom. Like that's what he's dreaming about right now. It's just, oh god.
Sweet, sweet Matt.
And then we get Perrin finally forging his axe. Looks great.
Yeah.
But really just destroying my heart again is freaking Hopper being there. Oh
the goodest boy.
The bestest. And look, he's chasing the embers.
I know, it's so cute. He's so excited.
Oh, god, it's so horrible. So horrible. It's killing me. And then, there's the family.
With Fael. Yep.
God. And yeah, that's how he's already seeing Fael. So he has these feelings for Fael already. Yeah. Which is also wonderful to see that progress.
Seems to confuse Egwene for just a minute. Like, who the heck is this?
Yeah. This scene is great. Like this is obviously the nail in the coffin. This is their breaking up 100%. And we can see all of the instances when she messes with her here. We see her messing with her here entirely, and yeah, it's like this is 100% going to be the downfall of Rand and Egwene's relationship. 100%. But also, I think the downfall of possibly Lanfear and Rand's relationship as well.
Yeah. If he finds out what's been happening. Absolutely.
Oh, he will. She's going to go and tell Rand for sure, I feel like. And that's pretty much the whole episode. Like that, it's really ramping up. So like, we've talked about how I love the episodic releases. And again, not just because it's self-serving, we get to do this because, the episodes come out staggered, but there's so much happening in these episodes. Like the first 3 drop was there was a lot of exposition, there was a lot of lore stuff. Obviously they grabbed us immediately with a battle, but then there was a lot of kind of not action stuff. A lot of lore and story building and character development happened over the course of like those first 3 episodes. And now it's like a huge thing, major things happening in every single episode. And I'm just terrified to watch the next episode.
I feel like they're not episodes you can watch once and remember all of the different parts that have happened. Like you have to watch them over and over again to catch everything and weave the stories together.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. We'll leave the story there. No. Well, and that just there's a healthy reminder to just watch these episodes over and over again. Just let them play on any devices that you could just let them play on safely and, financially, obviously. But like, if you can just let them play all day, let them play all day. We need a season 4. I need a season 4, even if it's just for me, even if you just do it for me.
Literally doing that now while we film this with just the episodes that are out. So
gorgeous freaking episodes too. All right. Well, anyway, thank you everyone for hanging out. This was a lot of fun. I can't wait to watch the next episode and dissect it with everybody. Let us know what you think in the comments. Make sure to like and subscribe and share this video if you enjoyed it. And we will see you all next time on the slopes of Dragonmount. Say goodnight, Crystal.
Good night, Crystal.
That's all for this episode. Thanks for sticking around till the end. As always, please subscribe to our channel and click the thumbs up button or leave a comment. We like comments, especially positive ones. If you have a friend who enjoys the Wheel of Time, tell them about Dragonmount.com and our show. Special thanks to our show sponsor, Tor Books, as well as to our Patreon supporters. If you want to learn more about how our show is made and get additional insights into Wheel of Time, you can become a Patreon supporter. We have a lot of big plans for the show, and your contribution will go a long way to making them a reality. Be sure to follow Dragonmount on social media, and see you next time!